Hey guys, welcome back to Revealing Biblical Truths. In this video, we will be going through the book of Deuteronomy, chapters 7 through 14. Before we get started, go ahead and like the video, subscribe, share, and comment down below, or this centipede will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. In chapter 7, Yahuwah tells Yasharel that when they go in to possess the land and fight against all the Canaanite and Nephilim tribes, that they should utterly destroy them. Don't make any covenant or show any mercy on them. Don't intermarry with them either. Destroy their altars. Break down their images, cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. He wanted no idolatry or corruption among his people, because they were supposed to be holy unto Yah. He chose them because he loved them, and that they would keep the oath and commandments. He says he is a faithful God, and will keep his covenant and show mercy to those who keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. He says if they follow his ways, he will bless them with children, as well as their crops and flocks. He will take care of their sickness, and deliver them from all their enemies. Lastly, he says not to bring anything that is an abomination into their house, but to destroy it and hate it like he does, because it is cursed. In chapter 8, verse 3, it says, And he humbled thee, and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knowest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yahuwah doth man live. This, of course, was quoted by the Mashiach when he was tempted in the desert in Matthew 4:4. It continues that as someone would chasten their own child, Yah chastens us in order to get us to stay on the right path. He says not to forget him and stop following his commandments and judgments. He warns them if they forget Yah and go serve other gods, that they will perish just like the heathen nations. In chapter 9, he tells them to go possess the land and destroy the giants that inhabit it, but that Yah will help them, not because of their own righteousness, but because of their wickedness. Moshe recalls the giving of the 10 Commandments on the tables of stone, and then going down and seeing their rebellion and the altar to the golden calf, and Yah was getting upset at it. Then he broke the tables of stone and went back up to the mountain for another 40 days without food or water, and prayed for Yasharel and Aaron also. After this, he put the second set of the commandments in the Ark of the Covenant, which was then carried with them as they journeyed. Yahuwah selected the Levites to carry the Ark, and they didn't have any land inheritance because they were to be priests. In chapter 11, verse 24, it defines the Holy Land's boundaries. It says, From the wilderness and Lebanon, from the river Euphrates, even unto the uttermost sea, shall your coast be. So the land would be from the top of Lebanon, down to the desert of Arabia, and from the Euphrates River all the way to the Mediterranean Sea. Today, it would look like this on a map. In chapter 12, verse 11, it says that there will be a place, which is Jerusalem, that Yahuwah will place his name, and they were to bring their offerings, sacrifices, tithes, and vows there. This would be where the tabernacle would end up, and then the temple afterwards. It goes on to say that if the place is too far from them, that they were to kill the animal but not eat it, until they bring it to Jerusalem, but offer it there and then eat. In verse 30, he makes an important point about following the other nations into idolatry. He says, Take heed to yourself that you be not snared by following them, after that they be destroyed from before you, and that you inquire not after their gods, saying, How do these nations serve their gods? Even so I will do likewise. In chapter 13, he lays out the test of a true prophet. It says, If there arise any among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and gives you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or a wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto you, saying, Let us go unto other gods, and worship them and serve them, you shall not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your God proves you, to know whether you love your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul. It goes on to say that even if a member of your own family secretly entices you to go serve other gods, you should not follow them, and instead you should even kill them by stoning, and your hand should be the first one to do it. In chapter 14, he goes over the list of clean and unclean animals again. These are the ones that are okay to eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the hart, the roebuck, the fallow deer, the wild goat, the pig-yarg, the wild ox, and the chamois, and every beast that parts the hoof, and cleave the cleft into 2 claws, and choose the cud among the beasts, that you shall eat. Nevertheless, these shall you not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel, the hare, and the coney. For they chew the cud, but not divide the hoof. Therefore they are unclean to you. And the swine, because it divides the hoof, yet chews not the cud, it is unclean to you. You shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. These are the things you shall eat of that are in the waters. All that have fins and scales you shall eat. And whatsoever has not fins and scales you may not eat, it is unclean to you. Of all the clean birds you shall eat, but these are they which you shall not eat: the eagle, the ossifrage, the osprey, the glade, the kite, the vulture after his kind, every raven after his kind, the owl, the night hawk, the cuckoo, and the hawk after his kind, the little owl, the great owl, and the swan, the pelican, the gier eagle, and the cormorant, and the stork, and the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. And every creeping thing that flies is unclean to you; they shall not be eaten. But of all the fowls you shall eat, of the clean fowls. Also we aren't to eat anything that has died of itself. Then it says not to seethe a kid in its mother's milk. A Jewish misunderstanding of this verse has led them to observe an oral tradition which says you cannot have cheese with meat together. But the true meaning of this verse is that you shouldn't eat a baby or young cow when it is still nursing on its mother. It is not old enough to eat. It goes on to talk about tithes. At the end of 3 years they were to bring the tithes of their increase for the Levite, the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow within their gates. This theme of taking care of those who are in need is laid out again in James 1:27. Pure religion and undefiled before Elohim and the Father is this: to visit the fatherless and the widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. That is the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, Shalom.